Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us.
Hell yeah.
They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second.
Hey everybody, I was just thinking about going for it. For whatever reason, I was thinking, oh, what's my topic going to be? I usually like to think of a topic and then kind of dwell on it a little bit. Like I was saying, I don't do too much research because hopefully I spent my life doing a bunch of research, and now it's more just kind of taking whatever worked from whoever or whomever I felt, okay, this would be a good example for this particular topic. Because I notice, like, when I do research something in the past, you tend to look for whatever data supports your argument, and sometimes it'll lead you down a road that maybe it's not always the most accurate. And so you kind of just, read whatever you can, do whatever you can, and sometimes you should evolve your opinion. Then once you have that opinion, of course, I try to reference, or you should try to reference where you got it from vaguely, but that's why I'm not too terribly impressed with a lot of people's references or study, because a lot of times, okay, they already have their thesis, now they're going to go dig around and find whatever backs it up. And, of course, sometimes, you that may be appropriate in the medical field, a little more than others, but I think when we're talking about life and what works and what doesn't work, there's a lot of variables. So, we kind of just hear what works for us, and it'll work for some people, and some people it won't. Some people, half of it will work, and the other half, maybe it's not applicable. I remember telling my son, at the time he's probably 13 years old. And I was going to give some really good advice, right? Really good wisdom. And we're going to go dirt bike riding. So I know that I'm pretty good at climbing hills on my dirt bike. And I knew there's one hill that everybody kind of sits around, and only maybe a few people go up it. And I was telling him, hey, when we go to this hill, I'm going to be looking at that hill, and I'm not going to be afraid. I'm just going to go for it, so to speak. Smash forward to me being in the back of an ambulance with a broken back, three broken ribs, torn ligaments in my knee. I don't even know if I ever brought it up to him later, how that didn't work out like I wanted to. But what happened is I went up a different hill, and my rear tire was spinning in the sand, and then it hooked up on some rock, and all of a sudden I went over the bike, but I went over the top side, so it launched me off basically a side of a little cliff. And of course my sister and everybody's watching, so they call 911, and cops come, planes circling, and the fire department comes, and luckily I had all the gear on, chest protector and everything, and I probably would have gotten a lot more hurt because there was a nice divot in the back of my chest protector on my spine, and so thank God I had that on. But moving forward, it's kind of a weird thing, because I'm thinking, okay, now I just told my son to go for it, and now I went for it, and here I am. And so it led me to believe that, yes, go for it, but kind of put your finger in the air and make sure it's the right time to go for it. And so what it was is I haven't ridden my dirt bike in 6 months to a year when I did this, and it wasn't towards the end of my trip. It was just like early in the morning, got there, got up, and I try to pick up where I left off, kind of like the heroin addict that stopped for 3 years and picks up the syringe again and is like, all right, I'm going to get back into it. Now, where was I? And he overdoses and dies because he used to do, I don't know the terminology for heroin. Haven't done it in a while. It was 3 bags. No, I've never done heroin. So he does 3 bags or whatever he used to do and he kills himself. Well, what I did is I just picked up where I left off. And yeah, I was super good at climbing hills, but usually you work into it over a long weekend. You get better and better, warmed up. And so in any event, I think what it is, yeah, go for it, but make sure I'm going for it with all the right information and the right, if you're, not talent, but, at that point in time, you are good enough to do what you're setting out to do. And get yourself in that frame of mind and then go for it. But don't go for it just for the sake of doing it. And one of the things is I think about when, let's say you have a job that you want to do, and you're kind of afraid to, whether it's a promotion or whatever it is, with your boss, or you want to pitch something, and you're kind of afraid to do it, and so you're thinking, oh gosh, should I do it? Should I not? Well, for one, if you're thinking of, okay, I can't do it, guess what? Now you're not focused on the prize, because now you got a little bit reserved. And that may have been when I got in the accident. I knew there was people around, and I did think, okay, what if I get in an accident and don't make it? So that does take away from the task at hand. So if you go in there with an attitude, there's been studies, they say if a lot of people's decisions is based on you expecting it to go through. Kind of like if you're at an event and you have a suit and tie, even better, a clipboard, you could go pretty much anywhere you want. If you have the attitude of, no, I belong here, this is where I'm going, and you just go, at the most you may get a little bit of resistance, and you just say, no, I got to be here at this time, and you go in there, because that security guard is kind of sizing you up, thinking, okay, do you belong here or do you not? And he's got a lot of people coming through, and all he has to base it on is your attitude and your demeanor, and he figures, okay, if you got this much gusto, maybe you do belong here. So if you're applying for a job or a promotion or whatever, it may be, and me being a boss, a lot of times when I hire, I think, okay, do I need somebody? Do I not? And do I need more people? Do I not? Do I need this person or do I not? And if the person shows up and is like, hey, I need this, I'm going to work my tail off for you. If he catches me when I'm on the fence about something, well, he's going to push me over the top. I'm going to definitely pull the trigger on this person in a good way. And if he comes up to me like him and Han, and somebody has a bad attitude, I'm thinking, oh God, this guy's going to be trouble. Or then he's going to help me make my decision too, and I'm going to be like, maybe I'll pass. So if you go in with that attitude, you may even help somebody to make a decision, or maybe they weren't gonna, if you had so much confidence and everything else. So it's important to have the right amount of confidence, because you may be getting something that you don't want, so you got to be careful when not to go for it too. Me going up that hill, I should have said, okay, based on I haven't been doing hills like this in the last few months, few days, I'm not comfortable with my bike. And I noticed too, earlier in the trip, I was farting around. It felt stiff because I haven't ridden in a while. But again, I had too much confidence. So while confidence is great, you also have to be willing to back it up too. And so hopefully it evens each other out. Like you get the confidence because you're practicing so much. You're good at what you do, or you're getting better, and then your confidence goes up. But all the while, you gotta be trying to make yourself doing what you want to do. You gotta be passionate about what you do, and that'll give you the I guess the energy to practice, and especially if it's something you really want. You should not back down at all. So just don't be afraid to ask. Because one thing I learned in business is when I do, and it's kind of along the same lines, when I do some of these estimates, sometimes I don't feel like doing them, and before you give somebody, okay, this is how much it's going to be for this service, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to ask for this much. Why not? Because sometimes you will get it. It's the damnedest thing. If you don't ask for something, you're never going to get it. And I've asked for, there's been jobs where I don't necessarily want to do, so I bid them for a lot more than probably I would normally do it. And I've never ripped anybody off. I always give people service for whatever I do, but that there's a lot of room for negotiating. As far as what can you charge somebody, especially my line of work, because there's not a lot of people that do it. So it's the damnedest thing is sometimes you charge more than you would have, 30-40% more, and you get it. And I'm like, wow, that's a thing too. Is so if you don't have that confidence in going for it, you will never get it. That's one of the only laws. It's just like when we go golfing. We always tell each other. Well, we tell each other a lot of things, but some of it I can't say on the air. Always hit it when you're putting. Hit it past the hole. And it sounds stupid, but I can't tell you how many times guys come up short of the hole. And it's like when you're putting, okay, you could be a little off in your accuracy, but at least you have a chance. But if you're not putting past that hole, you'll have 0% chance. And the same thing with not asking for the job or this, that, and the other. You're not gonna, as somebody cuts me off, you're not gonna receive anything if you don't ask for it. And I attribute that to you got to putt past the hole. It sounds stupid, but you'd be surprised. And as far as not asking for things, what happens too is in your mind you play it out. You're like, oh, this person's going to say no, and I'm going to feel stupid, and you've already had all the negative stuff happen to you, everything. So you literally talk yourself out of it. So it's what you got to do is take that energy and use it to, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. I already have it. Just think positive thoughts, not just like, okay, I'm gonna pull a unicorn's tail and rainbow sprinkled donuts are gonna come out, but the positive thoughts in that I already have this job. Like it's the time management book. It's think of yourself as already having lost the weight. Put yourself in that frame of reference. Say, I am the manager now, so I will do this, or I am going to be the manager at this point in time. Or being a manager, now that I'm a manager, I'm going to have to go shopping for these clothes, or just put yourself in, you already got it, and use your energy in spinning your wheels go in the right direction. Because the second you start to doubt yourself, like anything, it's like going up a ladder. You climb ladders. If you start thinking of your surroundings, are these hooks? Are they engaged? Is the feet of the ladder on flat, hard surface? Am I going to slide? Well, you're already on the ladder, so forget about trying to be safe now, setting it up, because you already set up and you're going up. Now's not the time. So now that you're asking the person or going to ask the person, now you just got to focus like a laser beam, and it's not gonna happen if you're doubting Thomas. If you are looking around, To those of you who don't know who Doubting Thomas is,